Welcome back, everybody, for another week of picks here on Every Day. We're covering CP and SJ with you to take a look here at week number 7 of the 2024 college football season. Coming off a hot week of picks here for you. Did very well last weekend, SJ. We hope we're going to deliver some more flamethrowers for the folks this week.
Yeah, it looks like we got a pretty good slate of games here, so I think we can at least match it, if not do better here this week. Let's go ahead and shoot for that.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend of football. Lots of good games to watch and take in. So I hope you're locked in and ready for it. I guess I'll kick things off here. And my first pick, I'll start with maybe the not so flashiest one of the bunch here for me. But I'm still riding the Toledo Rocket Wagon. I'm going with Toledo. They're laying 9.5 on the road at Buffalo. I know it's a little bit hairy being on the road. You never know what's going to happen with that road action, but Toledo's been playing well. I'm going to take them to cover in that game.
Yeah, they've been pretty good, D. So I guess it was one of those things you kind of gotta ride it while it's hot, right? So stick with
Yeah.
that one. I guess probably maybe along the same lines of that. I guess maybe this is a little bit better matchup, or would have been at least preseason. But I like BYU. I got them at -4 against Arizona. I know we've been kind of sometimes we're like, BYU don't let us down. So this is a bit one of those weeks, but I'm gonna throw some confidence behind them, and hopefully, I think they can pull it off. They look pretty solid across the board, and also, combine that with Arizona, maybe a little bit under what we thought they could be this season.
Yeah, Arizona's been a little bit unpredictable, so that is probably the way to lean there in that game. Don't hate that at all. A game that a lot of folks will be paying attention to in the Big Ten is Penn State going out on the road to take on USC. I know we both are looking at this game. SJ, what are you thinking here?
I'm take Penn State to cover. It's more about what USC has been lately. I mean, no disrespect, but you lose. I mean, I know it was on the road, but you lose at Minnesota for a team that was top 15, even top 10 to some to start the season. To me, that's not a good sign, and it's only going to get more difficult. I mean, even look, Wisconsin had them on the ropes. I know they pulled away there in the second half, but it did not look good there. And I just think Penn State's actually probably it may not end up being, the final result as far as like, a championship or, making a run, but this may be the most solid team that Penn State's had. It's just a year where maybe you got Ohio State and Oregon are just a little bit better than you. But I think I got 4 points there to cover that, and I think they'll do it fairly easily. I might slide that baby up a couple more points just to give us some hopefully hit some plus money maybe there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I had the same exact thing written down. I was getting 4 as well. I'm going to go Penn State. Yeah, you lose a game like that last week, just kind of unexplainable there to that Minnesota team for USC. And this is the type of thing that Penn State's going to do exactly the same thing to them. They're just going to come out, try to play good defense, and kind of run you over type of deal. And I think Penn State will be able to do that. So I'm going with the Nittany Lions on that one as well. I'll jump over to another one here, and this is another game that always gets attention every year just because of the 2 names and the logos on the helmets. Good old Red River rivalry or Red River shootout, as I like to refer to it too, because we're not changing stuff around here. But
last time I checked, that 10-foot or 20-foot tall, whatever that thing is, still has some pistols in his hand, don't he? So
yeah, they ain't changed the fairgrounds none. I'm going Texas here. I know it's a big number, 14.5, but man, they've looked good here early in the season. Oklahoma has not. I think it's kind of going to be in Oklahoma's head here too a little bit. I feel like I've heard from some of their fans even kind of like, this might not be so great for us this time around. And when you got that feeling, usually kind of trends that way. So I'm going to take Texas. If they get the chance to pour it on in this game, they will. So I'm going to go with them laying the 14.5. Don't love the hook, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about taking it to cover Oklahoma just because the history, and I even went back and looked, and I'm like, man, they've had a lot of close games, and even when Texas has been the favorite, Oklahoma's kind of come up with something, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. I've not seen anything from Oklahoma to make me think that they're going to, put up anything more than just, I don't even know what's going to be much of a respectable game here when you get to the final score. So I think that's a good one there. I'm going to jump back to the Big Ten here. I think you had a play on this one as well, but I can see it going either way, honestly. I know Ohio State's kind of the odds-on favorite here, no matter who you ask, but I do like, Oregon's chances. Because of that, I went with the total. 53 is where I played it at. Obviously, I'm going to go the overs. I think we're going to see a back and forth affair here, maybe kind of similar to what we saw with Oregon and Washington last year. Like I said, not sure who's going to win, but I mean, I'm just looking at that total here. Of course, smart money is probably on Ohio State, but who knows?
Yeah, I know this isn't probably the most secure one to pick a winner on, but I'm going to go there just because I've got a feeling, and I just think that this Ohio State team is better than this Oregon team. The way Oregon's played this season so far has just been kind of shaky. They've let teams hang around that probably shouldn't have hung around with them. And this Ohio State team is going to take advantage of that because what they've got at receiver just looks incredible again this year. They've got two guys that are playing really well. Judkins out of the backfield is just a beast, a tough guy to slow down. I do think that it's going to come to reality at some point that Howard's maybe not the all-star quarterback that they need back there, but he's got enough weapons that they're going to get it done. I feel like they're going to cover this 3 in a game like this. So I'm going Ohio State in that one. Another one I know we were both taking a look at here as well is Boise State. And of course, we've been talking and singing the praises of Ashton Genty in his Heisman bid, and rightfully so. He should be adding to that, I think, here this week. They go on the road to take on Hawaii. A little bit of a dangerous one. I don't know which way you're going to go because we didn't talk about this, but I'm gonna get Boise to cover that. Hawaii's not been great this year. 20.5 is the number. I know it's high, but I think Boise, if they get that ground game going and get Genty rocking another 200-yard game, they'll cover that number. That's which way I'm going. How are you doing?
Yeah, right there with you. It seems like a rather, sizable amount there, but I haven't seen. I mean, Hawaii's, I guess, best, accomplishment of the season so far is almost beating a UCLA squad who's subpar at best. So I think it's going to be kind of a bloodbath here, and it might be just a half of play, maybe the third quarter before the running back gets a rest there and is done for the day. So, but I do think they'll win fairly easily. It can be one of those. I mean, it's a late night affair, so maybe we just watch the first couple quarters and then we don't need to stay up all night and finish because I kind of know which way it's going to go, and I don't think it's going to be very pretty for the Hawaii fans.
Yeah. A couple others I'll throw out there just real quick, and these aren't necessarily official plays, but we had quite a few, similar picks here this time. So just throwing these out there in Big 12 games. That Arizona BYU game, that's one that I was thinking about maybe playing the overs on too, because I feel like the offenses probably have a little bit more of the explosive side in that game. If Arizona's going to do any damage, it's going to be because of the offense. So I feel like the number is pretty low, 48.5. So I feel like playing an over in that game would be a good idea. And then my squad's going out on the road to Morgantown, affectionately known as the Riot Bowl now, because the two schools like to have their history of burning stuff in the streets. But Iowa State, West Virginia, the number's 53.5, which I think is too high. This is going to be more defense oriented. There will be some points scored, but I don't think they get quite to that. So I'd look at playing the under on that game.
Yeah, one more play I had just finish off here. I think another shootout is going to be K-State Colorado. Don't care who wins. Don't really. I mean, can they both lose?
Yeah.
That'd be ideal, but obviously that can't happen. So, but 56.5, I think it'd be kind of back and forth affair. I mean, I guess that's kind of what. Other than the one loss, I mean, that's what Colorado's kind of been doing this season. And you look at last week with UCF, that was a wild thing. And I don't. I mean, going to have, I guess, a quarterbacks duel here between the two here this week. So I see a lot of points being scored. Don't know how it's going to play out, and it doesn't really matter for us. We just need to get 57 points combined, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, I like that play as well. All right, lots of fun football to watch here this weekend. We hope you're locked in. If you've got some plays that you want to let us know about, be sure to hit us up. The handles are right there on the screen for you at Cherokee CP at SJM Bets. Hit us up on Twitter and share your picks here for the week, and maybe share your success stories with us here as well. We'd appreciate that. And then, of course, we would appreciate if you would, subscribe, get the notifications here on this YouTube channel, and then lock in for the podcast as well. Every day we're covering, available on all the major platforms, including at our home at Spotify. Go forth, make some bets, have some fun, watch some college football this weekend. That's SJ Munoz. I'm Chris Parks. Thanks for joining us for another week of picks here on Every Day We're Covering. We'll see you next week for some more covers.